It's been a very long offseason, especially for us college football diehards. The national championship was 6 months ago, but the transfer portal opened up 7 months ago. A lot has happened during the last 7 months, and a lot of different players have been on the move. I'm sure there are a number of fans who track every single move and know everything that's going on in college football. But for a lot of other fans, they can easily forget what has happened, or they might have flat out missed a couple of things. The other day, I posted a video talking about notable quarterbacks who entered the transfer portal this offseason. But there were so many different quarterbacks who changed schools during the offseason, we're making a part 2 to that list. But before we get to today's quarterbacks, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. If you're watching this video, odds are you love college football, and odds are you aren't subscribed to my channel. So make sure to subscribe to one of the best college football communities here on YouTube. This one was a little more recent and one of the bigger stories of the entire college football offseason, but former Tennessee quarterback Nico Iamaleava transferred to UCLA. This past season for Tennessee, Iamaleava completed only 64% of his passes. He threw for 2,600 yards with 19 passing touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Nico wanted more money, Tennessee told him to kick rocks, and now he's the new starting quarterback for the Bruins. Staying on the topic of Tennessee, their new starting quarterback is likely going to be Joey Aguilar, who transferred from UCLA in essentially what was a quarterback trade. Now for Aguilar, he never actually suited up for the Bruins as he spent the last 2 seasons at Appalachian State. Over the last 2 years, he's thrown for just under 7,000 yards and has 56 passing touchdowns. His best season came in 2023 when he threw for 3,800 yards with 33 passing touchdowns. I said this in a previous hot take video, but I think there is a small possibility that Tennessee actually might have a better offense in 2025 with Joey Aguilar as their starting quarterback. Connor Weigman was considered to be one of the top quarterback recruits of his class, but after a couple of disappointing seasons at Texas A&M, he transferred to Houston. Overall, Weigman went 9-4 as Texas A&M's starting quarterback. He had 2,700 passing yards with 19 passing touchdowns and 7 interceptions. His 2023 season came to an end following a foot injury. He began the 2024 season as the starting quarterback, but he sprained his right throwing shoulder in week 2 and missed a month of the season. He returned in October, but was benched several weeks later in favor of Marcel Reed. There have been some flashes of Weigman looking like that once highly touted quarterback recruit, but he's definitely been a disappointment up until this point. In my previous quarterback transfer video, I talked about former Cal quarterback Fernando Mendoza transferring to Indiana. Well, they brought in former Ohio State quarterback Devin Brown. Brown was one of the top quarterback recruits of the 2022 class, but he never really got an opportunity at Ohio State. During his tenure there, he only threw for 330 yards and had 3 touchdowns while completing 56% of his passes. He made only 1 start during his time with the Buckeyes, and it came in that Cotton Bowl game at the end of the 2023 season where Ohio State only put up 3 points, and he left that game with an ankle injury. During his time at Ohio State, he lost the quarterback competition with Kyle McCord, and then he lost the competition with Will Howard. It'll be interesting to see how Brown looks if he's given an opportunity, but he is going to have to win the job for the Bears. Iowa landed a pretty interesting quarterback transfer in former South Dakota State quarterback Mark Gronowski. He was considering entering the NFL draft and had an invite to the NFL Combine, but he opted to enter the portal and transfer to Iowa. During his career at South Dakota State, he tied the FCS all-time mark with 49 wins as a starting quarterback and won 2 national championships. Overall, he's thrown for over 10,000 yards with 93 passing touchdowns while adding nearly 2,000 yards on the ground and 37 rushing scores. If you've watched any Iowa football over the last couple of years, you would know they have one of the worst offenses in the entire country, and their quarterback play has been absolutely terrible. Gronowski was a really good quarterback at the FCS level, and I do think that's going to be able to translate at Iowa, and I definitely think this Hawkeye offense could potentially average 20 points a game and make a serious run in the Big Ten. Missouri lost quarterback Brady Cook, but they added a really intriguing transfer in former Penn State quarterback Beau Pribula. With Drew Aller returning to Penn State in 2025, it made sense for Pribula to enter the portal and end up at a brand new program. He didn't see much action for Penn State in 2024 as he threw only 35 passes for 300 yards, 5 touchdowns, and an interception. He did get some work on the ground though, as he had 38 rush attempts for 250 yards and 4 touchdowns. Pribula is a former 4-star recruit, so he was a highly touted prospect coming out of high school. There was a lot of hype surrounding him, as many people thought he would be the starting quarterback for Penn State in 2025 had Aller entered the NFL draft. But I think this is a really good get for Missouri, as Brady Cook was pretty terrible last year, but he still had the Tigers as the top 25 team. If Beau Pribula could be better than Cook, there's a chance that Missouri can make a run at the SEC and potentially make a playoff bid. It's going to be quite the quarterback battle at UNLV, as they brought in two intriguing transfers. We'll start off with former Virginia quarterback Anthony Calandria. During his time at Virginia, he threw for over 4,000 yards with 26 passing touchdowns. He also added over 500 yards on the ground with 2 rushing scores. UNLV also added former Michigan quarterback Alex Orji. He was given a number of chances to prove himself in Michigan, but he was just never all that good. During his time there, he only attempted 48 passes, completing 54% of them. He threw for 150 yards with 3 passing touchdowns. A lot of his damage came on the ground, as he ran for 400 yards, averaging 5 yards per carry with 4 rushing scores. The Rebels are going to try to make another playoff push in 2025, so it's going to be fascinating to see who comes out on top in this quarterback battle. Speaking of UNLV, their starting quarterback to begin the 2024 season was Matthew Sluka. If you remember him, he gained a lot of attention when there was issues with his NIL deal and he decided to sit out the rest of the season and leave UNLV. Well, he'll be transferring to James Madison. He began the season leading UNLV to a 3-0 start, throwing for over 300 yards while rushing for just under 300 yards with a combined 7 touchdowns. He'll likely be in a quarterback battle as well, as James Madison has a pretty solid quarterback room, but Sluka will definitely be an interesting name to keep an eye on. North Carolina's quarterback from 2024, Jacoby Criswell, transferred to East Tennessee State. He didn't begin the season as the starter, but after Max Johnson went down with an injury, he started the rest of the way. He finished the season throwing for 2,500 yards with 15 passing touchdowns and 6 interceptions. It is a little bit crazy that he ended up at East Tennessee State. I thought he would have gotten a better opportunity somewhere else, but hey, maybe he liked what he saw with the program. Speaking of East Tennessee State, they must have done a hell of a job recruiting, because they also brought in another starting quarterback and former Iowa quarterback Cade McNamara. If he suits up in 2025, that'll be his 7th collegiate season. He spent the last 2 years at Iowa, where he threw for 1,500 yards with 10 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. He suffered a season-ending torn ACL in his 5th game in 2023. He started 8 games in 2024, but he missed the rest of the season with a concussion. Originally, McNamara began his career in Michigan all the way back in 2019, and he was the Wolverines' starting quarterback during their run to a Big Ten title and a college football playoff appearance in 2021. But he transferred to Iowa at the end of the 2022 season after J.J. McCarthy took over the starting job. McNamara needed the NCAA to grant a waiver for him in order to play an additional season. He suffered a season-ending knee injury at Michigan in 2022 and appeared at only 3 games that season. So East Tennessee State, they bring in McNamara, they bring in Criswell, and it's going to be a pretty interesting quarterback battle for them entering 2025. Speaking of quarterbacks who are going to be playing in their 7th season, Zach Calzada transferred to Kentucky. He spent this past season at Incarnate Ward, where he had the best season of his collegiate career. He threw for 3,800 yards with 35 passing touchdowns and only 9 interceptions. He led the Cardinals to one of the best seasons in school history, as they went 11-3 and won the Southland Conference Championship. With Texas A&M, he started most of the games in 2021. He threw for 2,200 yards with 17 passing touchdowns. After A&M, he announced that he would be transferring from Texas A&M to Auburn, but before spring camp, he was limited throughout practice due to an injury in his non-throwing shoulder. He never saw the field for Auburn, and that's when he entered the portal once again and transferred to Incarnate Ward. So now it's going to be his 7th season, he'll be at a brand new program, and it's going to be fascinating to see how he looks for Kentucky this season. Northwestern added a brand new quarterback in former SMU quarterback Preston Stone. Stone began the 2024 season as the starting quarterback, but he ultimately lost the job to Kevin Jennings, who led the Mustangs to the college football playoff. In 2023, as the starting quarterback for SMU, he threw for 3,200 yards with 28 passing touchdowns and only 6 interceptions. This is a pretty solid get for Northwestern, because they were terrible on offense last year, as they ranked 110th nationally in passing offense, and they had only 7 passing touchdowns during the entire season. We'll wrap up today's video with former Rice quarterback E.J. Warner transferring to Fresno State. Prior to his time at Rice, he spent 2 seasons at Temple. During his 3 years, Warner has thrown for over 8,800 yards and has 58 passing touchdowns. Well, that wraps it up for today's video. Which quarterback on today's list do you think is going to make the biggest impact at their new program in 2025? Was there a quarterback who I didn't include in today's video that you think is going to be a difference maker at their new program in 2025? Whoever it is, let me know in the comment section down below. Before you leave, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications notifications if you're new to my channel. I'm posting college football videos every day leading up to the start of the season, so make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. Also, don't forget to drop a like on this video as well. It helps out with that YouTube algorithm, and it helps share this video and my channel with more college football fans. Plus, it only takes a second to do. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.